What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope your day's going pretty good. Mine's going all right. I had to work till pretty late last night. I didn't get home until like 8:30, so I was tired. I'm sorry I couldn't put out a video yesterday, but we all up in it. I ended up having to go vote on the fly on my way home because I didn't get home until late. I just barely made it because the polls actually closed at 8:30. And I just made it, man. I just barely made it. But, you know, I'm happy and I'm kind of sad. You know, I've been scrolling over the election results all damn morning, and man, our state has turned red. You know, Jeff Landry is the governor, but outside of that, I was looking through a lot of the state representatives, and we have a lot of Republicans now in the state representatives, a whole lot more than we did have. But I am slightly disappointed in some of our local elections, and I do want to say right off the bat that I feel like it's partly my fault. I've been knowing about this race for a while, and I've been knowing about some of the issues for a while, and I've been a little bit too focused on national politics instead of being focused more local politics like I should have been. I should have put a little bit more time and effort into some of the local politics to get some of this information out there, especially surrounding our sheriff's race, because we have a guy that is very corrupt, I should say, from all the stories I've been hearing from a lot of the sheriff's deputies. And it's crazy that the amount that was gone to hold back some of this information. When there was a debate for the sheriffs that the local news stations did not cover at all. Didn't cover it at all, and it was amazing to find out how little people knew about this. Everybody I talked to, and I talked to a lot of folks about this, nobody knew about this debate. My wife went to the debate. I wasn't able to make it. I was working, and there was not a whole lot of people there, not as nearly as many as there should have been, and which is sad. But there's a lot of corruption going on with our local sheriff's department, the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Department, to be specific. So I will say for the record, since I mentioned them out by name, that I'm not suicidal at all. I love my life, and I haven't done anything wrong. I don't break the law ever, so there's that. Like I say, I feel like it's partly my fault. I should have made some videos, several videos, about this debate, because the guy that won, Stitch Guillory, he is not a good person. From what I can tell, he's definitely not qualified to be sheriff. I mean, he's up there in the sheriff's department, but this guy naps for half of the day. At the debate itself, he couldn't answer hardly any of the questions, right? He had terrible answers, and specifically, one of the answers was, you know, and I don't know if y'all agree with this or not, but I don't agree with his answer at all. I think it's terrible, and I think it's part of the problem with the police and sheriff's departments all across the United States. He was asked specifically about the Second Amendment. Would you enforce, if, say, they done away with the Second Amendment, would you enforce that? And he said, yes, we would stand up for law and order. Well, I'm sorry, I cannot agree with that. If they just take away a God-given right, one of these, the Second Amendment, if they try to take that away, you would expect for the people of this country to stand up to that. And just so happens, the sheriffs are people too. And they should see that as a grave injustice, because the Second Amendment is one of the components to defending our democracy, our great republic that we have. That is one of the components to that. And for somebody to just stand up and say that they would follow a law regardless of its moral implications, that to me, there's a problem with that. If you can't stand up for what's right, you'll fall for anything. Be deceived. Be a coward, in other words. But I just wanted to get that out of the way for anybody who watches my channel that's local. And you voted for Stitch, man. You voted for a corrupt guy, and I really hope he changes his ways a little bit, because he's not sheriff. He's underneath the sheriff. Tony Mancuso was a good guy. He was a Democrat, but he was a pretty good sheriff. I ain't gonna lie. But there's been a big downhill shift in our sheriff's department over the past couple of years. We've had over 200 deputies quit, and they're running on a skeleton crew right now because of Stitch Guillory, because of now who is going to be the sheriff. Things are going to get a lot worse, probably. I sure hope not. Like I said, I hope he turns things around, but from the evidence that I've seen, there's no real hope for me, but we'll see how things go. But enough of my rambling. I've been rambling for too long. Let's go ahead and get into this story. This is good news for Louisiana, I hope. You know, I always got to throw that caveat of I hope it's good news in there, because politicians are politicians, man, and politicians, you know. Breaking. Louisiana governor's mansion flips red as Trump endorsed Jeff Landry elected in stunning victory. Yeah, not too many people thought Jeff Landry was going to get elected. It seemed like most people thought that the Democrat, who will be named here in a minute, I forget his name right off the top of my head, but a lot of people thought he was going to win it. But, you know, the political tides are changing in this country, and we have a big populist uprising in the Republican Party right now, and that is the only reason I am somewhat backing Republicans right now. I traditionally don't like Republicans. I dislike Democrat politicians even worse, because they're just crazy, a lot of them. I mean, we still have some really bad people in the Republican Party that we need to get rid of as well. Don't let my bias fool you on that. I dislike a lot of those Republicans just as much as I dislike most of those Democrats. There are some sprinkled out here and there that are actually really, really good people. So, let's get into it, y'all. Louisiana's Attorney General Jeff Landry claimed victory in the state's gubernatorial race as projected by the AP. Now, this hasn't been updated. He won that race outright. He got well above 50%, so he won that race outright. Landry, 52, has raised the profile of Attorney General since being elected in 2015. He has used his office to champion conservative policy positions, the AP reported. Conservative voting activist Scott Pressler, who was instrumental in Get the Vote Out efforts in the state, celebrated the victory, tweeting, "Spent a good part of last year working on the Louisiana gubernatorial race. People thought I was crazy for thinking we could win outright. Congratulations, Governor-elect Jeff Landry. Thank you to everyone that wrote letters to new movers. Holy cow, we did it." And here's a picture of his tweet right there. The competition saw Landry amidst a crowded field of more than a dozen candidates in the jungle primary, where candidates from all parties share the same ballot. Initially anticipated to head to a runoff between the top two vote-getters if no candidate secured over 50% of the vote, Landry surpassed this threshold, securing more than half of the vote as of late Saturday night. Like I said, we're in Sunday now, and it's pretty clear. Enjoying the support of former President Trump, Landry was expected by many political observers to face Democrat Sean Wilson in a runoff scheduled for November. However, Landry's strong performance on Saturday has provided a boost to the GOP, particularly in conservative and populist wing. Representing the initial significant trial for both Republican and Democrat leading up to the 2024 election, the result may indicate an advantageous position for the Republicans as they approach the upcoming race this year and the subsequent presidential election year. Landry is set to succeed the term-limited Governor John Bel Edwards, who was the lone Democrat governor in the South. This is a breaking story and will be updated. Yeah, John Bell Edwards, although he, like I said, he was termed out, was not a very good governor, and I do not see how he got reelected myself. But he got reelected. But like I said, the political tides in this country seem to be shifting away from the Democrats, and for good reason. Like I said, they're going so far left, they are falling off the damn map. And it's just some of the far left people they're just ruining shit for everybody with all this hate that they have for conservatives, man. I have a lot of conservative values. I don't identify as a conservative, but I do have a lot of conservative values, and that is a big turnoff when these people won't listen to reason whatsoever. If you aren't one of them, you are an enemy. You are evil, which doesn't make any sense at all to me. It's like you can't reason with some of these people, especially if you're a Trump supporter. If you're a Trump supporter, it seems like they could care less. You can die, pretty much. The populist movement is being kicked out of society somewhat, and that's terrible. I think the anti-establishment position is a good position, because right now the establishment government that we have and the Democrats fall into that pretty well. I mean, like I said, politicians, the Democrats are all in lockstep with each other on this crap, and it just doesn't make any sense to me how you can see a certain position and just stick to that and not hear any evidence of the other side whatsoever. It seems like they could care less. You can make all the logical arguments. You won't. They don't listen to it at all. It's fucked up, in my opinion. But the good thing to all that is a lot of regular folks are starting to see the light. They're starting to see how crazy some of these people are, especially ever since Israel and Hamas started going after it. Or I should say Hamas attacked Israel like this. I've been trying really hard, looking at a lot of history over there to try to see the Palestinian side of things. How would I like to be in their position? And to be honest, the only thing I can fall with is if I was over there as just a regular citizen minding my own business, I could not support Hamas whatsoever. And it shocks me to see so many Americans that support that. Like I said before, I'm glad they came out since they felt that way. It shocked me to see it, surprised that they support that. But however, I'm glad that I saw that, because now we know that these evil people exist in this country, and we need to do something culturally to change that. We somehow need to figure out how we can get these people to see reason, because fighting like this, supporting terrorism, is not cool. Like I said, regular folks are coming around and seeing that. I believe that's a big component as to why we see what we've seen in Louisiana. There was a whole lot of flips in political positions to Republican right now. And right now, Republican Party seems to be the party of logic. They have their flaws. Don't get me wrong on that. They have their flaws. A lot of them are establishment politicians, which are almost just as bad as the Democrats, but people are starting to wake up. And that like I said, that is a good thing. That is a very good thing, and I'm here for it, and I'm glad to see it. And we will see how 2024 plays out. We're going to see who comes out on top on that. Like I said, I hope Trump gets the nomination. I would much rather Vivek Ramaswamy, but let's be real. Don't think that's going to happen. Looks like it's going to be Trump. He's anti-establishment enough, oddly. You would figure somebody like Donald Trump wouldn't be anti-establishment, right? Because he seems like one of the elites. But we can see now clearly that he's not. He's definitely not. He has the entire establishment coming after him like he's Hamas or something. It's crazy. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. I want to thank everybody for watching. Hit that like button. It sure does help. I know I say that every video, but I got to. Just in case you forget to hit that like button. Take the time out right now and hit that thumbs up for me, if you don't mind. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications, because I put out a video almost every day. I try to put out one every day, but we've been having a lot of long hours at work, so I haven't been able to as much. And I apologize for that, y'all. I try to do what I can, but thanks for watching, and be positive. Peace.